Thousands on deck. NBA champs Kendrick Perkins and Danny Green. Senior writer Tim McMahon. Senior insider Shams Charania is in the building with me. I'm MJ Acosta-Ruiz in for Malika Andrews. We finally arrived, guys. It is here. The postseason basketball is upon us. Let's go. Perk, you have had some high praise for Adam Silver and one particular addition.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing he's ever done is the addition of the play-in tournament. It's been the best thing since I was introduced to food.
Like I said, high praise. So let's get right to it. And we're starting out in Charlotte, where the Heat and Hornets will square off with the stakes all the way up. Couldn't help myself. It's a win or go home elimination game. One team will keep their playoff hopes alive. The other will start their summer vacations. Miami has the most wins in the play-in tournament's history and is the only team to reach the finals in the same year as competing in the play-in. But look, Charlotte isn't your average 9 seed. They've won nearly 70% of their games since the new year. So let's get out to Charlotte and say hi to Youngmisuk, who will be covering tonight's play-in game. Great to see you. I heard you got crispy sneakers on, but no team outperformed their preseason win over-unders more than the Hornets. What is the biggest reason they've made it to this point?
Well, you got to give LaMelo Ball some credit here for his basketball vision. Over a year ago, when he was on his way to the hospital for special surgery at 4 a.m., he was in a town car in Manhattan with general manager Jeff Peterson. Peterson asked him, hey, can you give me some intel on some draft prospects? What do you think? He highlighted a Duke prospect, Con Knipple, not Cooper Flagg. He loved his basketball IQ, his ability to get to his shots. He thought he had elite shooting, and this is a month before the Hornets even knew they were drafting 4th overall. And then I asked LaMelo Ball, I said, hey, look, you guys got Con. When did you know this team's going to be really good? When you were up by 30 in OKC at the beginning of January? He said, no. He said, back in August, when they first saw Con get on the floor with the vets, they had some summer runs, and that's when Jeff Peterson told me they developed instant synergy between LaMelo Ball and Con Knipple, and of course, they have taken off ever since.
Without fail, the in-house entertainment squad always makes sure to check the audio of the music right when you go live, but you are crushing it. That's just an indicator of what the atmosphere will be like tonight. But yeah, now that they have arrived, how far does Charlotte believe that they can go?
Oh, Charlotte definitely has the belief. They have been one of the hottest teams since January 2nd, since that win against Oklahoma City. But really, look, they're looking to create some noise. Kobe White told me, look, we're changing the narrative here. There's a lot of guys in that locker room that didn't like what sports pundits around the country were saying about them, and we're showing to people how serious Hornets basketball is. Miles Bridges told me last year when the Pacers made it to Game 7, he texted LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller and said, why not us? Why can't that be us? They're looking to make a run and end the longest playoff drive in the NBA. But first, they have to get out of the play-in, and that starts tonight against the masters of the play-in, the Miami Heat and Eric Spoelstra, who know how to get this. They've done it 3 consecutive play-ins.
I mean, are you not entertained? Let's go. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Keep us honest here. All right, these Hornets have been can't-miss TV this year because when they are on, they are on. Charlotte has a plus 18.2-point differential in wins, the highest by any team in a season in NBA history. You know, just a casual slave,
Pretty
gentlemen. And a big reason for that success has been one of the best 5-man lineups in league history. When you look at the stats, the new look Hornets starters are 31-9 and have posted the best net efficiency for any 5-man lineup in a season since NBA began tracking the lineup. That goes back to 2007.
Almost 20 years. Back to your team, Big Bird.
Okay.
Let's take a look at them,
Why
right?
do they do so well? I mean, they're just flowing.
We get swinging around a little bit. Nope, we're going to go back down this way. Why not? And it starts with me. It starts with LaMelo. I mean, he's just matured this year. And there was a time we had injuries. He came off the bench. But he's making the right reads, doing the right plays. Play the tape. Let's see what he got coming up. He's such a threat. They have to pick him up so high at the top of the half court. He comes up this double, reads the screen. Brandon Miller, pick and pop, put a shooter in that double screen. Somebody's been wide open. You see Khalil Ware, too far of a drop. And then also a guy that he doesn't get enough credit. Brandon Miller, 20-plus points a game, averaging, throughout most of the season. So
who's not giving him credit? Are they not
a lot of people were giving a lot of, LaMelo, but Brandon Miller's been the key. But
Well, of course you go favor the light-skinned guard, but I'm gonna go with the big fella in the middle, Moose Diabate.
There we
he
go.
has been doing his job to the T.
The Moose is loose.
Yes, he has been loose. One of the most underrated centers in the game, but has been a star in his role. I want you to check him out. He has been a beast on the glass, and the best three-point attempts is the ones out for offensive rebounds and the kickouts. You see the energy, you see the tenacity. Being a star in this role, some of those things go unnoticed because of the play of LaMelo Ball and Con Knipple, but that man has been doing his job exceptionally well in the middle.
We talked LaMelo, we talked Brandon Miller, we talked Musa Diabate. Now we're going to talk the glue. And I'm going to talk about Con. We're going to swing it around this way here. We're going to talk Con Knipple. Roll the tape. This is what he's brought to this team. You know, a lot of spacing, a lot of high IQ, and making some things happen. Setting this double screen, putting another shooter in that double drag. They try to ice it. Brandon Miller also making the right play. Get into that corner. You cannot leave him open. You give him a hair inch, he's got a hair trigger. It's going up, and he's lighting him. He's making it.
How was he that open? Are we serious?
It looked open, but because he shot it so quick.
Exactly.
It was a pretty good contest. Yeah. But he's a high efficient, high good, very good shooter as well. So. And that's pretty much how this team has been efficient, been running that point differential up the score.
Strategy.
07-08.
Science, if you will. Yeah, the young Buzz City Killers are going to be thrown into the fire against the Heat team that lives by the phrase, act like you've been here before. Just check out the difference in playoff experience between the top 7 scorers on
Playing
each
Kings.
team. The Heat have 278 games of playoff experience, while the Hornets have 0. So in a single elimination game where the difference in experience is so one-sided, Tim, do you think LaMelo Ball and the Hornets are ready?
Listen, I don't want to sit here in history class. This ain't about what happened in the past. By the way, LaMelo's playing experience ain't pretty either. But let's talk about the present. Let's talk about a team that was 12 games under 500 in late January. It's 28-10 since then. Only the Spurs have fewer losses in that time. Only Spurs have a better net rating in that time than these Buzz City Killers. And by the way, Miami limped to the finish line of the regular season. That defense has been an absolute disaster, including giving up 136 to LaMelo Ball and company their last trip to Charlotte. So, yeah, I do think that the Hornets are ready for this challenge.
The Hornets have accelerated a lot in Charlotte. I spoke to their general manager, Jeff Peterson, this morning, and he told me it's organic acceleration because you think about what they've done. They have so much of their draft capital. They've got 7 first-round picks moving forward over the next 7 years. They've got 14 second-round picks. They've got financial flexibility. They haven't made this all-in trade yet, but they've organically built it. And Jeff Peterson told me we're going to continue to do it the right way. We're not going to take shortcuts here. And he really credited Charles Lee for setting the tone and the culture and the players there that have bought in completely to Charles Lee as their head coach. And Tim spoke a little bit about how great they've been. 11-22 they were on January 1st. Since then, 33-16. That's the 6th best record since then. They're 1st in offense, 5th in defense. They're 5th in net rating. And even maybe most importantly, LaMelo Ball has played all 49 games in that second half of the season since January 1st.
And it seems like, well, not seems like, they have culture. They have established a foundation there. But let's not forget about the Heat culture. And I get it, right? They call themselves the play-in king, but, you know, you keep playing with that stove, sooner or later you're going to get burned, right? And I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I don't want to sleep on them or disrespect them because, you know, they have a guy in Tyler Hero that could light you up and go for 35 or 40 on any given night, right? You have a Norman Powell who has taken his level of play over the last 2 seasons on the offensive end to another level. But it's time for us to highlight and call out Bam in a good way. Yeah. Like, I'm ready. This is one of those stages where I'm ready to see if he's ready to dance. And when I say dance, like, can he show the world that I'm a guy that could, in a moment like this, I could be offensively aggressive and go out here and give you a 40-piece. We saw him score 83, but he's only averaging 20 on the season. I think this is a perfect time for Bam to not only show the world, but also show Pat Riley and their exposure to Miami Heat that he can be a reliable franchise guy that they could depend on for the near future. So when you have a stage like this in this beautiful play-in setting, I'm looking for Bam to be aggressive, at least 20 to 25 shot attempts.
For sure, and you better believe Miami's listening to everything that everybody's saying and that all the cards are stacked against them. Everybody's believing that Charlotte's going to come out this game tonight with a win. With the exception of
not me, guys.
She's a homer. But they're going to have a chip on their shoulder tonight, and they're going to come to play. So it's going to be a fun game to watch.
The chip is a boulder for sure because the Heat are in the play-in tournament for the 4th straight season. They have won 4 play-in games overall, most by any team, and advanced to the finals out of the play-in back in 2023. And yeah, you said it, Perk. Tyler Hero says the Heat are the play-in kings, but I'm not sure it has landed the way that he wants to, because actually, Bam Adebayo was the one who said weeks ago, I'm tired of being in the play-in, right? Shams, what's at stake here for the Heat if they don't win tonight?
The Heat, Pat Riley, it's clear around the NBA when I talk to rival executives, Pat Riley wants his whale, his shark, his tiger, whatever animal you want to use to describe it. He went out last summer. They made offers for Kevin Durant. They didn't land Kevin Durant. He ended up in Houston. At the deadline, they made offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. They offered Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, a bunch of draft capital, from my understanding. The Bucks didn't obviously move Giannis, and so they'll be back in the Giannis hunt, and then whatever star they can find that becomes available to see. Can we get that number one guy? Because we know Bam Adebayo is this franchise's cornerstone, but just the understanding of finding that number one option, that offensive juggernaut that they can depend on nightly to be that dude.
100%. Cautiously optimistic.
My thing is, if you can't find that well, right, at what point do you say, you know what, let's rebuild and start over? Because if you're the Miami Heat fans, aren't you tired of being in the middle all the time? Yeah. Aren't you tired, like we just said, they've been in the play-in tournament over the, last 4 seasons?
Like that
like you don't want to be in that mix. Like at some point you want to be a contender. If you can't land that well, what's the next option?
No question. All right, coming hard heading into the season. Tonight, we will have the Blazers and Suns squaring off with the 7th seed on the line. Devin Booker is at his best when the lights are brightest. He's in the top 10 all-time in playoff scoring. Denny, do you think he'll let loose again tonight?
I absolutely do. I mean, he's a bucket getter. He's a killer, especially in the playoffs. He's definitely proven himself in the past when they had that finals run. He's going to show up tonight. He's not the guy I'm worried about. It's the other guys. If they have Dylan Brooks show up, Jalen Green, Colin Gillespie, they should be fine, because I like the Phoenix Suns in this matchup against the Portland Trail Blazers.
Well, the Blazers have a chance to make the playoffs for the first time since 2021, something that seemed in doubt when their head coach was arrested by the FBI opening week. Tim, what's the biggest reason Portland is here?
I mean, we're watching Denny Avdia. This guy has been one of the breakout stars of the season, averaging 24, basically 7 and 7. The only other players in the league to put up those kind of numbers across the board, Luka Doncic, Nikola Jokic. Pretty good company. Tumani Kamara, the Suns attached him to DeAndre Ayton. He's been huge for the Blazers as well.
All right, Perkstradamus, time to put you on the spot. Who's punching their playoff ticket tonight, the Suns or the Blazers?
I got to roll with the Suns. Look, D-Book is going to do his thing, but Dylan Brooks, I can see him bringing that intensity, that tenacity, and junking up the game. The Suns are playing at home. They should have, they're going to be the favorite. Watts O'Neal, they got the role players. They're going to come out fired up. They're going to advance and be playing San Antonio in the first round.
The winner of tonight's game gets the right to play Wemby and the Spurs in round 1 of the playoffs in the 2-7 matchup starting on Sunday. San Antonio went 2-2 against the Suns and 2-1 against the Blazers this season. So there haven't been many playoff debuts that have had as much anticipation as Victor Wembanyama. So let's take a look back at some notable first postseason games by number 1 pick, starting with 94 Shaq dominating the Pacers with 24 points, 19 boards to go with 5 blocks.
In
1998, Tim Duncan burst onto the playoff scene with 32 points, 10 rebounds to steal Game 1 in Phoenix. The Spurs would go on to win that series. Why is the video blurry? Now I feel old.
Definition.
LeBron made a splash by becoming the 3rd player at the time with a triple-double in his playoff debut. James went 32, 11, and 11 to beat the Wizards. And Derrick Rose accounted for 36 points and 11 assists.
Why you bringing up old stuff?
Overtime.
Hey, there he is.
Rose scored 11 in the 4th to send that game to OT. Still stings. I get it, Perk. My bad. So we've had some loud playoff debuts from number 1 overall picks. Perk, what are you expecting from Victor on the game's biggest stage?
Greatness. That's what I'm expecting, greatness. I mean, look, he has answered all the questions, right? And he has lived up to expectations. But most importantly, it's his mindset for me. It's his mentality. It's his leadership. He's one of the best young leaders in the game, and he wants this moment, and he's ready for this moment. Yeah. What we've seen, Tim, DG, throughout the course of this season is growth. Remember early in the season, he was trying to show us he had a Jamal Crawford bag. He was shooting a lot of threes. And then all of a sudden, he became dominant. He started having that balance of inside-out presence, using Stephon Castle and guys more in the pick and roll and just saying, I'm 7'7". Let me just dunk everything, right? And when you think about it, there's no game plan for him. He's like Jokic. He's coming off of pin downs and all type of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I can't agree more. He's a star, and I expect him to play like it. I mean, he's been having Tim Duncan-type numbers or outdoing Tim Duncan and David Robinson. The lights are bright. This is where the stars show up. He is going to show up and show out because of his mindset. And, you know, we see the Giannis clip every time, and it kind of gives me chills. Like, you know, talent is great, but talent doesn't make you great.
Right.
You know, it's about your approach, your obsession. And he's one of those guys that is obsessed with the game, his competitiveness, his nature, his mindset. He's going to go out and just play free, and he's going to have a 32-10 type of night.
And this is not a dude who is scared of spotlight. He seeks the spotlight. He loves the stage. He realizes he has the potential to be one of, if not the best player ever to play this game, and he's determined to squeeze every bit out of that potential. And look, he's played on huge stages before. This guy played in the Paris Olympics as the centerpiece of the French national team. He balled against Team USA in a gold medal game under those circumstances. The Thunder were 25-1 coming into the NBA Cup semifinals. Then they ran into this guy who put on a show. He loves the bright lights. This dude's going to ball in the playoffs.
When you look at the potential matchup here with the Suns or Blazers, is there one team, Perk, that could give Wemby more trouble than the other?
Well, Tim, the Suns.
You don't want Dylan the villain to find that rib, that tender little rib.
But you know what? I would actually love to see that because we know with Dylan, he loves poking the bear, and I would love to see him piss Wemby off, right? Wemby is already mean, but let's to piss him off to another level. But you just want to see great competition. Right? You want to see the stars go in it. I want to see Devin Booker back into the postseason again. I want to see him matched up with a Stephon Castle because, again, although Wemby, and we should be highlighting him, there's a lot of other stars that could go off as well, like a De'Aaron Fox who went toe-to-toe with a Steph Curry in the 7-game series when he was in Sacramento.
There's a reason why they were 2-2 against Phoenix, and the point differential was a lot different because they have a lot of bodies like Iguodala, Ryan Dunn, Royce O'Neal, Dylan Brooks. They can throw many different guys at Wemby and company to make this a physical matchup.
Yeah, they might have to tag team him a little. Company are in the play-in probably a little more than they would like to be. This marks the 3rd straight year they've been here. This time around, the Dubs face Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers on the road in a win-or-go-home elimination game. We welcome in 4-time NBA champion Draymond Green to the show. So good to have you here, Draymond. Thanks for coming by.
No problem. Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so it was a tough regular season for the Warriors with injuries, of course. But even with that, you find yourselves in control of your own destiny, just 2 wins away from making the playoffs. How do you feel heading into the play-in tournament?
I feel good heading into the play-in. You know, to have Steph back, Al back. Obviously, you know, we're missing Jimmy, missing Moses. But to just have, you know, some of the guys back, especially 2 guys as important as Steph and Al, you feel good going into the play-in tournament. I've been in these play-in games, I think, maybe 3 times now. They always feel like playoff games. There's going to be playoff intensity. And when you are, as a competitor, when you're faced with playoff intensity, competitors rise up. And so I'm looking forward to the opportunity. Our team's looking forward to the opportunity. As you said, we control our own destiny. So go out there, put 2 great games together, and let's try to get that 8th seed.
You and Steph Curry are 2 of the longest active tenured duo in the NBA. What would it mean to get another playoff run with Steph, especially with all the challenges this season?
It would mean a lot. You know, number one, we don't know how many we have left. How many opportunities do we have to do this again? And so each one you have to cherish. But anytime I'm able to take the court with Steph Curry and compete at a high level, you know, it's been my honor my entire career, and it's one I don't take for granted. Not everyone gets to play with all-time greats, the likes of Steph, especially you then add in the demeanor that he has, what he brings to the table, who he shows up as every day. It's a really, really special thing. And so still playing at an extremely high level, and we want to make sure that we can capitalize on that and put ourselves in the best position we can to win with the circumstances that we've been dealt.
You touched on this, too. You've played in more games for Steve Kerr than any active player has played for any coach. I mean, Steve's contract does expire after this season is over. Has the thought that this could maybe be the last run with Kerr at the helm of the Dubs crossed your mind yet?
No, because I know Steph Curry still wants to continue to play. I want to continue to play. But more importantly, I know Steph doesn't want another coach. I would say to myself, but I don't mean that as much as Steph does. Like, you know, when you've been through what we've gone through, the success that we've had, like, what's Steph going into year 18? Year 18, you're like, oh, we're going to get a new coach now. No one wants that, you know. And so what Steve has brought to this organization, his winning ways that he brought to this organization, the success, we won 4 championships under Coach Kerr. There's, 26 franchises that doesn't have 4 championships? Right. And we have 4 with this head coach. He's written his ticket. Yeah. He's written a ticket. He's done everything he's needed to do to deserve to leave when he's ready. And I know Joe, Peter, they're very honorable. They're very loyal guys. And more importantly, they're very smart guys. And when you have someone that has had the success that Steve Kerr has had, you're talking a Hall of Fame. If he stops today, he's a Hall of Fame coach. And he came here to an organization that had not won a championship in 40 years, since 1975. And he delivered that in year 1, and then in year 3, and then in year 4. Like, that's unheard of. And so you don't, you know, I think oftentimes in this league, everybody's always looking at the other side thinking it's greener. And then when they get on the other side and they realize all the grass is brown and it's dead and there's no sprinkler system and the sun the sun doesn't rise on that side, it only sets on that side, then everybody want to look back like, man. And now you start this cycle of 4 coaches in 4 years. You know, you start this cycle of having 6 coaches over 8 years. The Warriors have been through that cycle, and no one's trying to go through that again. So as long as we have a Steve Kerr, one to coach this team, you're not going to go and find a better coach. So that's not right. A worry of mine or anybody in this organization.
I hear that. And speaking of coach, he said Sunday that he wouldn't be playing Curry 40 minutes in this win or go home elimination game. So how do you feel about a minutes restriction being on the table with your season on the line?
Like I said before, the circumstances we're dealt, you just got to play the hand that you're dealt. And, you know, Steph Curry, if this is Steph's last year, you're like, screw it, man. Like, forget the minutes restriction. Let's just give it all we got. This isn't Steph's last year. We got the best medical staff in the business, led by Rick Celebrini. He's always going to make the right decision. He's always going to do things for the right reason. And there's alignment across our organization. And what's best for Steph Curry wouldn't be throwing him out there for 40 minutes in a playoff game, having been played 4 games in the last 2.5 months. So he's going to give what he can, and it's on the rest of us to pick up the slack where he can't give and make sure we keep it going when he's not out there on the floor.
You talked on this show last year about the importance of making all defense 10 times in your career, something only legends of the game have done before. Do you remember that group of 5 players to make all defense at least 10 times?
Absolutely. You're talking Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Scottie Pippen, and Kevin Garnett.
Come on.
Like
these
are all first ballot Hall of Famers. These are all, I mean, you're talking top 3 players at their positions. You know, like, these are all-time greats. For my name to possibly sit next to theirs, to possibly be mentioned in the likes of those guys, like, what an honor. You know, coming into the NBA, the question was, what position would he guard? To end my career on a list like that with those 5 guys would be one of the biggest honors of my life. And so I've put the work in. I've worked hard at it. I think I've put a great display of defense on again this year. And, you know, I hope the voters feel that I'm worthy of an all-defensive team selection, because I think, you know, you watch the film, I think I definitely do that at a very high level still to this day.
Do you think there's any single player left that makes a bigger defensive impact than yourself?
Absolutely. You're talking Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Scottie Pippen, and Kevin Garnett. You know, like, these are all first ballot Hall of Famers. It's hard to say Victor Wembanyama doesn't. Just the way, I think one thing that I do defensively that, you'll never be able to quantify is I'm a positional defender, so I'm not giving you your spots that you want to get to. I like to deter shots. I'm not Victor Wembanyama's height, right? So I'm not going to block every shot. Right. So I want to get myself into a spot to where you can't even get to the shot. And I think that type of anticipation is sometimes tough to quantify. Well, when you look at a Victor Wembanyama, he is one that does that same thing, but in a different way. Because all of a sudden, a guy gets to the hole, and whereas you usually just take that shot, you see a lot of times guys see him in the area, they just dribble the ball out, right? Mm-hmm. And so to sit and say today that my defense is more impactful than Victor Wembanyama's, I think that would be a lie, and I've never been one to not be honest. So I wouldn't put myself above him, but I wouldn't put myself below anyone else.
Is there anybody on the offensive side of the ball that's more dangerous than Steph?
No, I don't think there's anyone on the offensive side of the ball that's more dangerous than Steph. We see Steph get guarded differently than anyone in the NBA. You're talking people grabbing him, holding him, sending 2 and 3 people at him. No one draws that type of attention in the NBA when they don't have the ball. People are terrified of him, and he doesn't have the ball, and he can't score. He does not have the basketball in his hand, and people are terrified. There's no one else in NBA history that they run through the paint and the whole defense shift, and this guy doesn't have the ball. And so I don't think we'll ever, in the history of basketball, see anyone guarded like Steph Curry's guarded. That's the respect level that he's gained from opposing coaches, from opposing players. And so to say that there's someone that's a tougher guard in the NBA, I'm going to have a hard time agreeing with that one.
Yeah, no, facts. All right, so it sounds like you like your chances as you head into the postseason here. All right, Draymond, thank you so much. We appreciate your time as always. And, of course, we will be watching closely as we get into the postseason.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it, MJ.
The Warriors have won 104 playoff games in the Steve Kerr era. That started with the 2014-2015 season. That's the most in the NBA in this time, and over twice as many as all but 2 other teams. Welcome into our senior writer, Anthony Slater, joining us here in LA with the Warriors in town, of course, for tomorrow's play-in game. No one has more playoff experience than this team, but they have a very difficult path truly ahead of them. Slater, how are they approaching this matchup?
Well, they're not trying to get into the playoffs, right? Draymond's going to guard Kawhi, and he's going to try to have a good defensive night and then probably tell us all about it afterwards. And, hopefully the voters, for him.
Swing his way a little bit.
Steph's going to try to get hot. It's a showcase stage for them. Draymond said it. They don't have many of these type of nights left. But I think it is fair to wonder organizationally whether it's better for them to lose. Because I'll give you an example. Last year I covered the 9-10. Dallas Mavericks were in that game. They won it. They then played the final playing game, lost. Memphis goes, gets swept by the Thunder. Dallas keeps their lottery odds, jumps up, gets Cooper Flag. If the Warriors lose, they keep their lottery odds, 9.4% chance to jump up in the top 4 of this draft. If they win their way into the play-in, they lose those lottery odds, and then they get the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first round. Our graphics guys right here. Better chance to get 9.4 chance to get into the top 4 or to beat the Thunder. What do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, I go 9.4. Because you're not beating the Thunder, not with this group, especially with Steph Curry on minute restriction, also Al Horford, Porzingis. And I agree with Draymond. He is the hardest guy to guard, and that gravitational pull that he has is unbelievable. Nobody in history will ever have that. But they just don't have enough around him right now to get it
Jimmy
done.
Butler.
And Jimmy's out. So it's tough. They couldn't get Giannis. They tried to make some moves at the deadline. But right now they need to just focus on the future.
They understand the assignment. Like, collectively, the doctor, Steve Kerr, admitted it's a reason he put out the minute restriction.
Yeah.
Like, Draymond is no dummy. Steph is not dumb. Steve Kerr is no dummy when it comes to knowing what an NBA championship roster look like. And they don't have one. They know this. So what are you competing for? To go out there and do what? To get swept by the Oklahoma City Thunder? Like, let's be honest here. And good luck, Draymond. I'm not Draymond is one of the best defenders I've ever seen. We talk about Steph changing the game. Draymond changed the game. That foul ball, with him being able to go at the center position at his size, his height, but good luck trying to stop Kawhi Leonard. Real talk, because he has been, matter of fact, let me say this. Kawhi Leonard is making one of the all-NBA teams on my ballot. He's getting my vote. He has been one of the most dangerous players, offensive weapons, in the game this season. So, again, I'm with you, Slater. Hey, look, be optimistic about what the future look like and go ahead and get that lottery pick.
It would help in a trade, too.
I mean, the fans, I'm sure, are like, shut up, guys. We just want to see Steph
This is
Curry
fan
out there in
appreciation
the
day. That's why they're playing them, right? Might as well
But yes,
nice little send-off.
the facts of the famine tips off. Let's take a trip down memory lane. It's the top of the top play-in moments, and we start with top bounce. Dame Lillard in the 2020 bubble, okay?
Okay, Dame.
Oh my God!
On the big man?
But Dame was on one in that bubble. I don't know what it was. I think he was missing the
2024
crib.
DeJounte Murray. Oh, over Vooch. Oh.
Vooch, just go away.
Sorry. Yeah, he's got a family. And last season, John Morant with a putback.
Oh, my goodness.
Versus the Mavs.
Yeah, that was
That's
sick.
ridiculous.
Insane. That's what he does.
Well, hey, if I'm a big, I'm mad as hell at that guy at the top of no box. Come on, Marshall.
Top razzle dazzle. Hornets, Pacers in 2021. LaMelo.
No, he keep changing
the
his
no
pockets.
looks. Bridges.
Nothing but dimes.
That's like the only playing highlight LaMelo's had.
2024 in Miami. Tyler Hero behind the back. Woo! For the quarter three. Come on.
You got to
Playing
knock it
Kings.
down.
You got to hit that one.
You got to
More
knock
of that,
it down.
please. And back to the bubble. CJ McCollum. Love dance on there.
Little salsa.
That's a whole lot of cone
That
drills
was
right there,
razzle-dazzle.
boy.
Our top triple. Fred VanVleet versus the Bulls in 2023 from half court.
Ooh.
Period. Insane.
Good way to end the half. There go Jurassic Park.
2021, step back at the halftime buzzer. Yeah.
I wonder how many of those he have in his career.
The limit does not exist. And later in the same game, LeBron.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't see, right? Shot it right in the middle. Got a poked eye.
Too smooth.
I can't see. Tell him.
All right, it's time for a Shoot Your Shot brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Perk, give us your parlay for tonight's play in
Well,
action.
damn it, I'm going to shoot my shot. I'm going Bam out of the bio, plus 21 points. He's going to be aggressive. They need him to be aggressive. He understands the moment in the play-in tournament because he's been there before. And I'm going with Dylan the Villain. He's averaging a career high. He's going to bring that leadership, that tenacity, but he's going to be aggressive offensively. He also understands the moment. Last but not least, I'm going with the rookie, my vote for Rookie of the Year, Carl Knipple. He averaged 18 on the season. You don't think he going to get 15 on this big stage? He's ready for
Blue
it.
Flames.
That's first parlay right there.
All right, so if you guys were doing the math at home or not, we got you plus 507 odds
Sure.
that parlay.
Make
All
you
right,
a bag.
DraftKings Sportsbook, all customers can get a profit boost every day of the NBA playoffs. Download the app and use promo code SCREEN when you sign up. It's been 10 years since Charlotte made the playoffs. Let's flash back to 2016. You guys remember this one?
Yeah, when the fan was talking trash to D-Wade.
Purple shirt
They
dude.
kick people out.
Versus.
D-Wade said, no, I got it. Don't worry about it. Keep him in the game.
I mean,
Leave him right there. That man is on the court.
talk trash.
Yeah,
Well,
terrible
here's the problem to the fans, right? You are not the one that has to deal with these guys. That's the problem.
Please sit down, sir.
Sit down. You're not helping our team.
The Hornets
is going on with the
nine
headband?
season playoff drought so much.
Like Karate
is
Kid.
the longest active streak in the NBA. Charlotte must beat the Heat and the Sixers' magic loser to prevent it extending to 10 years. All right, Tim, what would be the best story to come out of tonight's game?
I mean, the best story is the Charlotte Hornets, the Buzz City Killers, in the midst of this remarkable midseason turnaround, continuing their season.
Yeah.
And you know the Heat. By the way, the curse of '83. They've been
Stop it.
apart since then. And by the way, this is
I rebuke that.
This is game 83 of the regular season, or of the season, I should say. I think
okay.
it'd be
How dare
a
you.
fitting in. But this is a team that's been playing as well as almost anybody for the second half of the season. They were lost in the NBA wilderness for years. Now they have arrived, and this has a chance to be the start of something special for
The
them.
wilderness, I'm screaming.
And I think everybody wants to see that Detroit-Charlotte matchup if we can get it. Because there's smoke. There has been smoke before. there will be smoke again if they can get to that 8 seed. So I would love to see that.
Everybody's a lot of people, Daniel.
Yeah, a lot of people.
I think the biggest story would be, since we're all picking the Hornets except for you, MJ, since we're all three picking the Hornets, that we come out and tomorrow we're talking about how Eric Spoelstra put together this perfect game plan, and the Miami Heat and Tyler Hero and Bam Adebayo went in there and punched them in the mouth.
You remember when Spoelstra said, I apologize to absolutely nobody?
No one.
Yeah.
That's who the Heat have stopped since then, okay? They have stopped absolutely nobody, have been historically horrible on the defensive end since that egregious stat-chasing campaign.
For more instant reactions to tonight's play, and hey, check